I was asked by, including that in the past, I was a member of a group called the Singapore Planning and Urban Research Group that suggested many new ideas about how Singapore should develop. That was in the 60s and into the 70s. Okay, so now because of my background in architectural planning as well as in research on history and philosophy, the idea of a new Asia university occurred because I'm a member of a group called Asian Dialogue Society, right? So they have asked me to prepare a draft proposal on the new Asia university, and this is the shortened version of my proposal. So paradoxically, Western-style democracy has offered the rich and powerful the platform to transform the free market economy into global imperialism over the past 80 years. This is the logical outcome of the neoliberal modern materialist developmental model, as it systematically prioritizes shareholder capitalism's ownership of technology and capital and turns people into materialistic consumers and wage laborers. This is the unintended, or maybe even intended, but the result of the current civilizational order, right? So a critique of this civilizational order is now necessary because it has become grossly unjust, deeply dehumanizing, and environmentally destructive and militarily threatening. Rehumanization is therefore necessary, but is stymied by the rich and powerful 1% who own the means of production. The mass media, the military-industrial complex, and it skews academia in ways aligned to its own interests. Despite these constraints, social media and the rise of Asia offers new challenges to us and opportunities for change. Realizing that the wrong things can be done for the right reasons is a tragedy. And because of this, change to a new developmental and civilizational order must include political and spiritual enlightenment, right? The kind of materialism that Asian economic development, largely based on the materialist paradigm, can be very damaging in the long term. So New Asia University has therefore to be the pioneering step towards building this new civilizational order. We have to start somewhere, and I think in higher education is the starting point. Although, of course, in social media, in public discourse, in the school systems, all of this must also take place concurrently, because we must not remain servants of the existing order. This is the task that Asian Dialogue Society, of which I am a member, has set its goals. The New Asia University concept is a result of the efforts of Asian Dialogue Society. So New Asia University was discussed in Penang at the CWC conference in July of this year, of which Mr. Hiro was a member and he participated. And this Zoom session that is organized by Hiro is a follow-up of this. Just to add to this, 1 week after the Penang conference, I was invited to a conference in Vietnam organized by the Association of Independent Universities, who are interested in the idea of the New Asia University. It was a very big meeting, and as usual in big meetings in Vietnam, the Vietnamese Communist Party is always present. Immediately within 24 hours, a message was sent to the conference that Hanoi wants me to be in Hanoi to discuss the concept because they are interested. So you can see how fast the uptake is. Now, let me just briefly talk about Asian Dialogue Society so that you understand where I'm coming from. The Asian Dialogue Society's role has always been in policy formation since the late 80s. In fact, it was through the efforts of ADS that Vietnam was persuaded and convinced to join ASEAN. Having been rather skeptical about ASEAN, believing from the Vietnamese point of view that ASEAN is simply another American construct, right? A bit like SEATO, Southeast Asian Treaty Organization, which is a version of NATO, NATO. This is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Okay, so this is a picture of a meeting in 2007, in which you can see on here, this is Anwar Ibrahim, who is now the Prime Minister of Malaysia. This is Surin Pitsuwan. Unfortunately, he passed away. He used to be the Secretary General of ASEAN. And this is Dr. Tai Quan Trung, which is a Vietnamese intellectual, right? So it is in this discussion which I attended that invited me to join ADS because they were interested in my ideas about rural urbanization, right? So that's why I became a member. So there was a follow-up meeting between Tai Quan Trung and Surin Pitsuwan, who asked the question to me directly: how do I address the plight of 400 million poor in Southeast Asia, in ASEAN, right? So this is a thought that has bedeviled me for the longest time. Just to introduce Asian Dialogue Society, this is one of its publications, a huge volume of essays on Southeast Asia, right? In this book, Mr. Raja and Tai Quan Trung, who are who started the Asian Dialogue Society, quoted Tanak Koman in 1967 at the formation of ASEAN, saying, this is Tanak Koman, who was Foreign Minister of Thailand. We want to be free. We do not want to be under the influence of anyone. We do not want to be dictated to by Europe, or from America, or from Moscow, or from Peking. Or from anywhere else. So this is a statement of freedom, right? Which I think freedom and non-alignment, which Southeast Asia, ASEAN in particular, is committed to. And Anwar then wrote this very important book called The Asian Renaissance, 1996, right? And in which he quoted Tagore, the great Indian poet: the night has ended. Put out the light of the lamp of thy own narrow corner smudged with smoke. The great morning, which is for all, appears in the east. Let its light reveal us to each other who walk on the same path of pilgrimage. This is very inspiring because this is the reason for the enlightened education which Asian Dialogue Society and which New Asia University is dedicated towards. So this was a meeting in 2009 organized in Batam at that time to discuss the idea of an ASEAN university, right? So this is the beginning of the discussion. So the members who attended this meeting come from all over Southeast Asia, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, Japan, China. So a lot of people we had a very rich discussion. So I would be able to say, that the New Asia University concept actually grew out of this this discussion, right? So these are some of the people, right? There are professors in the various universities in Indonesia and Malaysia. Now let's set the context, right? ASEAN can be the catalyst for New Asia. This is a point made by Ferdinand Brodel in the 2 volumes which he wrote on the Mediterranean, right? That ASEAN is like the Mediterranean, right? Because ASEAN is a ancient Eastern wisdoms in the same way as the Mediterranean was awash with ideas from India, from Egypt, from Africa, from China, right? And of course, from the Renaissance itself. So ASEAN is awash with Asian wisdoms. How do we tap this huge reservoir of wisdom? And I think that the university has to do that. So now let's talk about the university concept. As an architect, of course, I think in 3 dimensions, right? So I imagine that it can be like this, right? In the center of a 1 square kilometer, right, which I call an enterprise city or a enterprise campus or a modular urbanization, right? This is a project which I worked with my students. We explored the geometrical and sociological aspects of the human settlement, right? To address the question, how can we design a different kind of human settlement in which, in the course of carrying out the routines of everyday life, everybody meets a lot of new people, encounter new ideas, and develop new thinking. This must be the aim of the new urban situation. So in this, you see the red area is what we call the central nervous system, which is missing in virtually all our urban planning models. The central nervous system is where all the social, cultural, and educational functions, facilities of a human settlement are co-located, strung out along the central nervous system, just like the human body. The central nervous system of a human body is the reason why the human organism is the most intelligent of all living organisms, precisely because it is capable of harnessing all the information, sensations, and intuitions, and realizations and ideas, right, through the nervous system, which infiltrates and connects every part of the human organism. That's why we are intelligent. So similarly, a human settlement or a campus, for that matter, must be like a living organism and not like an efficient mechanism as it is currently conceived. All our architects and planners at the moment think in terms of efficient mechanisms. This is really a misunderstanding, and I think this is something that has to change. All right. So like a brain, the campus has to be designed as an intelligent living organism. And we tested that it could be even up to 100,000 people living in a 1 square kilometer, right? A campus city for a new a new culture, the arts, science, and the intellect, a place to live, learn, and create, surrounded by farms and nature. This is very, very important, right? The dichotomy between the rural and the urban is a dichotomy that has produced a kind of narrow mindset, which I think that needs to be overcome. Living with nature and living with food cultivation, as well as living in compact urban settlements, is a very important source of new learning and new realization. So the concept of NAU, New Asia New University, has to be different from existing universities. We want to be different not because we want to be different, but because in the making of New Asia, we need to experientially and comprehensively educate a new generation of broad-minded yet skillful graduates. New Asia University, therefore, cannot be faculty-based, separated in terms of knowledge areas. Instead, it has to be an academic and experiential learning experience. It has to have a central core curriculum around which is arrayed a broad range of specialized majors and minor electives which students can decide to enroll in. So the core curriculum is the core, right? It's for every student to gain comprehensive knowledge and understanding of how Asia got to be where it is in the existing global order. Its existence within the changing global power structure is changing economic and political dynamics through an understanding of imperialism. This is the core. This is the necessary knowledge and understanding and grounding that must underpin all chosen fields of knowledge. I emphasize all chosen fields of knowledge. This is the foundation of the new vision for a new Asia with a new purpose. So who will study in New Asia University? New Asia University must attract the best and brightest students from all over Asia and ASEAN because they will want to be at New Asia University because of its mission to build New Asia and to attract students to New Asia's empowering curriculum. English will have to be the principal teaching and learning language. Or maybe, of course, with the new automated instantaneous translation systems, language difficulties could be overcome to some extent. Furthermore, if the campus is located in a low-cost rural area, but easily accessible to a major city, it will have the benefit of both worlds. This, as I said earlier, is important in the shaping of the new mindset, right? That we cannot think in terms of the rural-urban dichotomy as two separate worlds. They are not two separate worlds. They are interconnected worlds. The empowering thing is for students to design their own curriculum by selecting from the range of major and minor electives that are offered. Students choose those disciplines which suit their interests and innate talent, all built around the core curriculum. Tutors and real-world mentors are important, will have to be available to offer guidance because young people sometimes cannot decide what are their basic interests and their innate talents. They need to have mentors who can help them to understand themselves. So each elective will be offered by and drawn from a range of prestigious partner agencies, well-known universities from all around the world, and research laboratories, and so on. Diversity in approach in each different field of specialization is encouraged by NAU. Each student therefore graduates with a unique degree that records his and her range of attainment. You don't graduate as an architect or a lawyer or whatever. You graduate, right, with a range of understandings which your future colleagues and employers or other people, right, will understand what a unique person you are. I think this is the important project which I call rehumanization, right? So there's a lesson which I learned, and I hope that I can pass it on from the Michai Bamboo School in Thailand. This is a secondary school, a junior high school, right, and a senior high school together. It was developed and built. I was the architect in the poorest area of Thailand, in the Buriram province, in the northeastern part of Thailand, right? Very poor area. And Michai's aim and challenge was this: how can we develop a school that will make the poorest children in Thailand to become the smartest children in Thailand? And it was incredible. right? And I will explain how the school did it. The Ministry of Education in Thailand was very alarmed at this school project, and they insisted that the students take the standard Thai school examination, because the Bamboo School does not believe in examination. It does not have examinations, right? Students learn through projects which they themselves have selected, and having come from very poor families, the students then selected projects which will help their families' income. What the school did was, what Michai did was, the projects will then be supported by the teachers, right? Who specialize in geography, history, science, and so on. But they have to form themselves into groups of 5. Each group of 5 would tackle the project which they decide to take on. 2 of the students will be outstanding students. 2 will be average, and 1 will be slow. And they have to work as a team. So they learn how to reinforce each other's deficiencies and inspire each other to achieve more. So the result of this whole approach, we started 14 years ago. 1/3 of the students that graduated are now in university. And the University of Kheng, which is not far from this school, has reported that the students sent from this school in the university are the best in the whole university. It's amazing. 1/3 of the students are now in business, and 1/3 are in social enterprises and in village and district administration. And UNDP visited the school, spent a lot of time examining the school curriculum, the teachers, and the students, and has called this the best rural school in the world. Now, this is something that we can learn from, right? So I'm very, very happy to be able to be participant in the building of this school with Michai. Although I'm just an architect, but in the process of designing the school, I interacted with him, I interacted with the teachers, right? And during the life of the school itself, I also interacted with some of the students and learned about the projects that they did. So this was an amazing experience, which I think has inspired me to think in those lines in thinking about the New Asia University, right? So the time is now to build the New Asia University, and thus a step towards building the New Asia. So thank you very much. I'm open to questions.